This is episode 318 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm one of your hosts, William. Who cares, Hegwood? Today, I'm joined by Marcel. Would you just beat Act 6, Manzano?
Why?
So we could play.
Literally,
and
why?
have fun. So we could play together.
Okay, fair.
Well, in a couple days, you won't need to, because we could just start playing together with new characters. Anyways, that's not what this podcast is about. Let's keep going with Ryan. Han shot first twice. Stanzewski.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a fun new addition to the versions of all the Han shot first versus Greedo? We had the original Han shot first, and then Greedo shot first, and they both shot at the same time. What if Han just shot twice first? Very thematic for X-Wing.
Wouldn't it just be like Biston, just like in the next booth over?
Yeah, just like Biston just gets seated next to Han, they both shoot him.
There he sits next to Bistan at the table. Fair enough. Anyways, James, Trajectory Strikes Back, Ritter?
Yeah, we have a new Trajectory simulator-esque type ability with one of the standardized loadout cards in today's the preview came today of the TIE Bomber Pack.
Ooh, I had a big knee-jerk reaction to it, but I think I have cooled my jets. But
I tried so hard to calm him down.
He was like, ban him all. I don't really want to see him.
Hold on, we'll talk more, but I want to discuss something more about that. But I'm putting question mark at the end of that, by the way, James. Before we get to our main topics, though, I had to let you know about our GSP Patreons. Becoming a Patreon makes you part of the largest group of our supporters GSP has. Patrons have access to Patreon-only channels on Discord, depending on what level. We do send out quarterly gifts as well. The next wave of gifts was to be set for a Republic Assault. But you have to go to patreon.com/Gold Squadron to become a Patreon today and find out more. All right, so we got two topics today. We're going to talk about those bombers in just a bit, but there's been some exciting worldwide news that's come out from the XTC. Now, they are running an in-person event. Marcel, where? I forgot.
I think it's in Italy. I think it's in.
I forget the name of the town, though.
I forget the name of the town. It's a little bit west of Florence, but yeah, it's between Pisa and Florence. Yeah.
The organization that puts on
it's where all the wine is. That's why, like if you want to go to wine country, and you're not going to Napa Valley or stuff like that, like that's where it is.
All right. But those who have always put on these big team events, the ones doing the in-person one in Italy later this year, are also putting on the XTC, an online event through Tabletop Simulator, where different teams of representing the different countries amongst the world all compete together. Team USA has competed in the past, and with the release of the finalized dates for the XTC this fall, starting September. Oh, I just had it. One second here. I just posted it.
We need like the ... process.
The little loading circle. The group stage starts October 16th, but the deadline for lists and team composition has been decided to be September 22nd. So, we are set in motion. When I say we, I've been elected, I guess, nominated, bestowed upon, nobilized, knighted, whatever you want to say, as the captain. Hand-me-downed. By Marcel. To me, the torch has been passed for the captain of Team USA. So we are starting our recruitment. I am going to bounce it over to you, Marcel, but we've had an excellent crew in the past. been an amazing group of people, and we are just looking for more people to join in because it has been such an exciting time. We want to get more people in on the action. So we kind of thought of tryouts, calling it a combine, a very American NFL style kind of event. So we're calling it the combine. Normally in sports ball, you'd be running 40s, you'd be taking passes, running routes, things like that. But in X-Wing, it's going to be quite a bit different. So let me transition over to our little graphic here. But
let me just give a little bit of before we jump into it.
Sure.
So
sure. Let me pass it over to you, Verso. What's up?
Yeah. Well, for starters, not everyone may have been around when like XCC was online. XCC was at its prime. So basically, XCC is just what XTC is. So XTC is the X-Wing Team Championships, and like William said, it's a group of players that represent represent their country in a team event. It's usually a round robin event, depending on the size of the event. Last year was more of a round robin one. Well, it was still a group one. There's a group stage. It's sort of like the World Cup where they do a group stage, then they go into like eliminations. But the eliminations are a round robin elimination, 2 days. And in this particular case, it's going to be 5 players and 2 substitutes, which we'll talk about right now. How the selection process will be for that, and who basically already has guaranteed spots. And not disclaimer. Oh, what's the word? Spoiler. Nobody has a guaranteed playing spot, but there are some guaranteed administrative spots. William being the captain, and then Kenny Lyons being the coach slash pairings master. And in the past, originally, just to give it again, just a real quick background, in 2019, I think it was 2018, 2019, Dion was asked to participate in XTC for the United States in person in Poland. Dion decided to go to stream the event, so he asked me to be the captain, and then I was the captain. We put together D. Yoon, Tyler Tippett, Andrew Knuckles, and kind of who's who of X-Wing that was able to travel at the time, and of course Richard Sue, because that was like Richard Sue time. So Richard Sue couldn't be anywhere. You couldn't be anywhere in X-Wing without Richard Sue. And then we participated. Then COVID happened, so we moved it to online. And I stayed on as the captain, just kind of, I was the captain 1 year, so then I was the captain the next year. And I did not a trials, I think it was more an application. I did an application, like people submitted why they should be, and then I connected with Dion and other people like, hey, do you know this guy? And then there was a couple playoffs to get in on the final on the final spots. And then we basically carried over the same team from 2021 to 2022, and we carried over the same team just because there was a very short window. Like we had like 3 weeks to figure out the team, the list, and everything was just like on the spot. And it was when 2.5 had barely started, so it was like a lot of people just were down on X-Wing, and there was an exodus. I personally heard, I don't know if William and other people heard, but I heard plenty of backlash. Feedback. There you go. Some constructive, but some of it not so constructive feedback on like, oh, you guys are gatekeeping. You guys are only picking, like your friends and yada yada yada. Definitely not what we wanted to do last year. It was a time constraint more than anything else. This year, we know in advance. We've prepared, and we put together what we feel is the most fair, but also gives William and Kenny the most leeway to build a team that they think will win. Because again, it's William being the captain, Kenny being the coach. Ultimately, they have to put together a team that they feel will work together will receive their instruction, because it's not a democracy. If William tells you to fly XYZ and that's the list you're given, that's the list you're given. That doesn't mean you can't, you know, have a conversation and give your reasons why you think you should fly whatever you think you should fly. But ultimately, you have to be able to accept that feedback. If you're declared as a sub and and they say like, hey, this person's going to play instead of you this time, you know, you just got to be open to all that. So there's a lot of things that will go into it. And
long story short, he made me the captain, so he didn't have to be the bad guy.
Yeah, and also I was getting kind of lazy with it, to be honest. Anyway, so William put together a really cool structure. I put together an application, and William wanted to kind of take it from here, and then we'll answer some questions from James, Ryan, and then whoever's on listening right now on how the application and the whole process work.
That's a great idea. I made a little infographic up here. Oh, my dog knocked me over. So, as you said, there is going to be an application. It's going to be in the link in this video. If you can put it in the view, Marcel, in our chat as well. It's live right now. We are starting the. Well, let's just go through. Let's not jump there. So you apply through the application. It just has some basic information. You can go crazy. You could just put down just one sentence answers, but most of it's just who you are and what you want to fly, and what's your experience with X-Wing, more or less. So we're going to take all of those applications. We're going to take a certain selected amount of applications. We're hoping for 32 or 36, I think was the number we're hoping for, because that would just be a nice round number to make an easy format for. But that we're kind of flexible on that. It just depends on how many people apply. But select applicants will form random teams of 3. You will put down your faction in the application. So we're going to take that into consideration. We're not going to team you up who wants to fly Empire with probably another Empire player. The dates for the event, we are wanting to start August 6th. That's a Sunday. So you can do, as all team events, you'll have to, once you get your matchup, you can start doing pairings, plan your matchups. And that's one of the things that we thought about for looking for players that can accommodate, because at the beginning, the group stage is a weekly process. It's more on your traditional league style. And then it doesn't go into a single, well, it's a 2-day event, but multiple rounds per day until December. So no reason to do it all in one day. We're just going to spread it out. And that's kind of part of the self-application process. You got to be able to, meet up with your team for the pairings. You got to meet up with your opponent for the game. But it is only one game a week for 3 games total throughout those dates going up until Sunday, August 27th. That's right before. I got to give a shout out to the Nickel City Draft League. That'll start right after that, August 28th. So try not to make any overlap there in case people want to participate in this and that at the same time. Though you are in a team that you'll have to coordinate the pairings and stuff with, you can submit your own list. You don't have to worry about disagreements amongst your teammates for the combine. Another thing that will hopefully, if you will get you paired up with, like I said, you're an Empire player, I'm a Republic player, and we have a Resistance player on our team. So you can submit through your lists, though you actually don't have to fly the list that you recommend, but I guess we'll just assume that you'll want to fly it in the combine as well. Because there are, I'll touch on that a bit. In XTC, there are 5 factions to choose from. We do not actually have to fly all 7. So we're kind of up in the air about that. We're looking for different factions. Can Scum get a list that can compete? I don't know. We'll be looking all over for that. The format, as I said, kind of depends on the number of applicants. We're hoping for 36 or more. But that'll just kind of be determined beforehand. We're going to run it on Longshanks. We got James says he's willing to help out with that. More familiar. Me and Marcel, didn't we play in the team event with Kenny at one point?
Yeah, in Longshanks, you mean?
Yeah, we played. I think that was the only
one
team event I've done in Longshanks. So
yeah, me too.
Not as familiar.
Yeah, it was you, me, and Kenny.
I think that was Kuiper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Kyber Cup, I think.
Yes. Because I flew my world's list in it. That's right. Anyways, as I said, 5 players and 2 substitutes will be selected from the players participating in the combine. That doesn't, and I know James had a question about this. Now, those selected players aren't necessarily the winning teams, the people with the best records. It doesn't exactly correlate like that. We are going to have more or less exit surveys. And James brought up a good point, Marcel. We should actually have them do them week by week. So play your game, fill out the survey.
You could, if you are able to stay up on top of reading all of that. Like that is like administratively on your end.
Honestly, it might be a little bit
between you
easier
and
for
Kenny.
me.
Yeah, if you guys are
to process that information, maybe week by week. But
yeah,
just
but
maybe
it will be based on your performance, because you can go 3-0 and you can win all your games outright, but then your team lost lost the actual team match every week because you took the easy matchup and kind of threw them, threw them the wrong ones. Or in the whole selection process, there was like bickering and arguing back and forth. So there will be a lot of customer feedback, because at the end of the day, it's got to be a cohesive team. It's got to be people that are able to play with each other. So we are giving you the fair warning now that play nice, be nice, because you can be the best player in the world, but if the rest of the people in the tournament are saying like, nah, he was kind of a I can't say bad stuff here, but he was kind of like a dingus. Yeah, dingus. Then that will impact the decision made by William. And let me throw one more thing on there, because you were talking about how many people will be part of this, this event or this combine or trials. 32 to 36. Understand that we're gonna look at everyone, and I'm saying we because I'm helping with the whole process, but that doesn't mean I don't have a guaranteed spot. Nobody has a guaranteed spot. It's definitely not for playing. This is we as in just helping out.
There's a lot of players, players
all of Team USA from last year.
Yes,
everyone from Team USA last year. From last year, even if they're not, they or we are not playing, we are still committed to helping Team USA through practice, through list makeup, through whatever it is, it's a national event. We see it as a national event, whether we're part of the team now or we're not part of the team anymore. We're still considered alumni. Same thing for D-Yoon and Tyler and all those guys as well. So definitely want whoever's playing to do the best. Now going back to the number of players, so there might be 32 to 36 players. However, whatever William decides. There might be 12 people that want to play Empire and 4 people that want to play Scum or something like that. So we may reach out to you and say, hey, are you willing to play a different faction? Now, we gave you options for multiple factions in the like you can pick 2 factions to play, and we'll assign you one based on that. But also on the same note, if there's 100 people that sign up, we will not select 100 people to play in the combine. It's just not feasible. And so there will be some understand that filling out the form and going through this process does not guarantee that you will even be able to participate, just because of the bandwidth that there is to run the event. So I would suggest that if in some of the questionnaires, as far as like, why do you want to participate, or have you done other team events, those type of answers will help. If there's a lot of people that want to play your faction, will kind of help you show,
I mean
get
that's
selected.
a good point, that like we do need 5 factions. So the maybe not the weirder your faction is, but certainly if you're strong in a faction that's not normally flown, definitely come and flaunt it, because there is going to be hot competition for probably what, FO, Rebels, Empire. It's going to be the hardest spots to get, I imagine. Now I lost my train of thought when you were talking about the former players. I think that I was going to say is that to your intro point, we do want to see this rose from just like a small club, which I thought was very tight and great. Like, I had a great time with those guys. Really want to make it clear, I love all of them, but it's we want to bring more people in. We want to really make it this like nationals style, or not national style, that we're all kind of rooting for our own country together, kind of united in it. So hopefully we can get a lot of support in there. What questions? You give it over to Ryan and James, kind of fresh faces on this, haven't had as much insider info on it. What are we missing out? What questions might you have?
I can go. I did have a question on. So there's gonna be 3 players per team,
Yes.
right? Okay. And those will be random players put together in a team, or semi-random.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be 3 rounds, right? Three weeks, right?
Yes.
So does each player get an opportunity to be the captain for that week? Is that the intent there?
A great question. Brought up 2 things. There is no official captain for your team. You will need someone to submit your team into Longshanks. We could help you with that if you need it, but there's not an official captain. It is kind of the point that we want to see and hear about, is that it is a team event. You have to be together in it.
Think about American Idol Team Week. They
Team
put
week,
you
sure.
together, and then the drama queens will drama it up, and the people that play nice will play nice, and the teams that can get along are probably the ones that are going to do best. So think about it
you need to decide collectively. If you all show up with Triple Ace, that's going to be on you guys as a team to diversify your list, find out what is maybe the best strategy before you submit your official list. Those kind of things are essential in team play. Those compromises, sacrifices you have to make. We call it thrown under the bus a lot, which is where, sorry dude, you're going to get the worst matchup possible for you. The one you said you cannot win, well, we're going to have to give it to you, because that gives the other 2 players easy wins.
If that gives the other 2 players 2 easy, like basically guaranteed, nothing's guaranteed next swing.
Sure.
But if it gives them very strong matchups, you have a chance of winning that round for the week, right?
Yeah, we call it thrown under the bus. It happens. But that's actually a great thing. I didn't mention about the pairing process. It's very standard to what will happen at in the XTC when you're down to just 3 teams or 3 factions remaining. Essentially, each player will choose a list of their, or each team will choose a list. That will be the attacker. You'll secretly select it. James, you might secretly select Rebels. I might secretly select FO. We'll simultaneously reveal them, and then the opponent gets to take that faction and they add it to one of their remaining list. So what I say, I gave you FO, you're going to match it up with your Empire. And then I match my Empire up with your Rebels, and then the last 2 play off that weren't paired together. Exactly like it would happen in the XTC when we do pairings. Now, someone of your team doesn't have to be the captain or anything, but someone does need to do those pairings each week. So can be normally done through Tabletop Simulator. It's the best way to do it. We are going to have a Discord set up just for the Combine to collect all this information about pairings, about how to put your list in, Longshanks, things like that, answer any questions. For that information is going to come when we announce the people who, the selected applicants, essentially. They'll get that information on the Discord. But the pairing process takes just a minute. Like, really, because there's only 3 teams, right? As long as you already know what team you're going to attack with, it's pretty straightforward.
How or like when do we expect to have the teams put together ahead of the starting of August 6th?
That is a great question. So August 6th is approximately 3 weeks from now. So we are going to start formulating teams probably next week. As soon as we get applicants in, we can start reviewing them and start putting them together in teams. Want to get this out. It's not going to be the 5th at midnight or something like that.
Right. It sounds like we want to give at least a week to those players, allow them
because
to
they'll have to coordinate what lists,
lists,
and then get a team together through Longshanks so they can submit their scores and stuff like that. So I would assume, hopefully, we get applicants within 2 weeks, make a selection process, get it out the week before the 6th, help each team get ready for pairings on the 6th then. That is the goal. Get everybody ready long before that weekend starts.
Okay. One more. I know one question that I don't.
Sure. Just want to have you with it because we gotta have. I want to hear your questions. Chad, if you got any questions?
So one of them is why can't I, or why can't we? We have our trio of players and we like to play with each other and we're friends and we've got a good thing going. Why can't we just sign up as a team?
Well, that's goes back to the kind of cohesiveness player we're looking for. Someone who can join into a group, make compromises and sacrifices for the team, understand that it is a team event. So the what do I want to say?
The key is you need to be able to do that with anyone. You shouldn't only be able to do that with your group of 3 friends. You should be adaptable and can work well with others that aren't always your core group of people. You need to be able to constructively talk about different viewpoints and be able to not just immediately write them off. Like if you're used to some pilot you think has always been bad and you think this other pilot's always good, you can't work black and white like that the entire time within the team. You need to be open to the fact that other people are going to have other views, and you need to at least talk through it and come to a team agreement, not just someone follows one person the entire time. but also you need to be able to critically analyze together, not just yourself, things you need to do. And the pairing system can sometimes favor stuff that wouldn't normally be good in an entire Swiss event. So having an understanding of that will be key as well.
And that is like one of the things we're looking for. If you bring like maybe not like off meta or something, but like a specialized list, and we see that dang, your list is really good against barrage bombers, but like, and your team got you paired up with barrage bombers every week. Like, great job for that team. Like that's not just knowing your list is good, but knowing what it's good against as well, and how it kind of fits into that meta. So yeah, it is. Hopefully, you'll create this kind of team effort to collaborate on these lists and decisions. Though, hopefully, everybody still has some fun, even in the competition. Let's see. Did James, you have any more questions? Ryan, you have any questions? Anything I might have not been as clear on?
Nothing question related, but I think I can maybe talk a little bit about some aspects you can think about that aren't purely X-Wing related that you would have to consider as someone who wants to sign up as an applicant.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never participated in the XTC events, partially because it's in the past been mostly extended format. It's not a favor of mine. I don't like. I think it perfectly fine that it exists and people enjoy it. I just don't get invested, and I feel like that would be a detriment to my team, right? So I don't want to do that. But now it's standard format, right? Okay. There's a little more substance for me to grasp onto. My son is not in his first year of existence, so he's a little more less time necessary needed to meet for me to be diverted completely towards him and the family. Although the family's still very important right now, and that's another thing people consider your time available as a person, and know that even though you could be applying for the U.S. team, this combine, where you're going to be likely playing against and with a lot of people within a generally similar time zone, you need to be able to be flexible or have an available schedule to be able to play against people around the world. And that's for me, where yes, I can definitely play one game a week, but I can play one game a week within a very specific time slot each day. Like when Sarah and Ali go to bed is generally when I can play, which is like 9 p.m. Eastern, or later when I would then go to bed afterwards. Weekends, it's hard to tell because we do family stuff all the time. And I don't want to be able to have to tell my family to shift our plans because I need to fit in an X-Wing game with someone across the world. So
Yes, we
that's
play
some things you need to like consider. Is your available time still needs to be not only like, sure, I can get in one game a week, yeah, but are you flexible with that? Can you play it? Can you play mornings? Can you play middays? Can you play nights? Do you have at least 1 to 2 days a week where you could do one of those three general time periods, right? Morning, midday, night. I think
Many
that is
2 a.m. games.
you could do some really late night games
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's very very often because you're going to be playing people from England, which are 6-7 hours ahead, depending on your time zone. You're going to be playing people from Singapore or the Philippines, who are going to be more in the, or Australia, who are going to be in the 14, 15 hour, 13 hour time difference. So it's all over the place.
Yeah, I've played many a games at 3 in the morning. Uh, Woke up just to play a game and then went back to bed. So it does take some commitment to do that. Plus, you got to be involved in. We try to meet up on Sunday evenings, whenever we can, to discuss lists, talk about matchups, potentials, things like that. Because while you might know certain aspects about your list, the some insight onto it about what your list could go up against I think there's a little of a difference philosophies. I always think my list is terrible at everything, whereas some people might overestimate their competitiveness of their list. So we kind of have to judge that. Though most of that goes through Kenny. Kenneth is our parents' master. So he does spreadsheets, does all the things. But a lot of that does come from team feedback as well. So we do need involvement from you, not just the single game per week.
Oh, I
For
guess
the regular XTC.
Here's a good question. For the Combine, would you encourage people to stream or record their games?
Oh yeah, of course. I know obviously we do Wednesday nights, but there's still Greg who's doing streams. Maybe you can jump in on his. He normally does Tuesday and Thursday. Greg, you still streaming X-Wing? I mean, his name's Nickel City X-Wing, so I would imagine so.
I mean, the
I'm in
event
more
I'm
on
going to
Thursdays.
this weekend said that Nickel City is streaming games at Forest City Open. So,
Ooh, in-person X-Wing now.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, of course. The only thing is that if you're, even though it is a team event, again, we're basing this off of like standard XTC rules. Just try to, don't have your teammates whisper in. Don't try to get too much influence for your games. Prep as much as you can, but it's still 1v1 on the table out there.
Oh yeah, if you can't record games, as long as you and your opponent agree upon, this is what I believe. Feel free as the guys organizing the Combine itself. I would think if you can't record, but you want a teammate or anyone who's part of the Combine available to watch, as long as both the players in the actual game agree upon letting people watch, but maybe not intercede or talk, have it open, announce it in a modern Discord announcement, like, hey, we're streaming a game from Combine, this versus this. Come check it out. Just mute, deafen, watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome if you could, if you're playing in it. Like I said, we are going to have a dedicated Discord for it set up, just so like teams have a place to communicate. We can put out announcements for it. It's going to be pretty bare bones, as we'll probably just nuke it right afterwards. But I did want a place to collect all the information during the Combine. Let's see. Marcel, am I missing anything? I think
Nope. We're gonna put the link to the form on Discord and wherever else it needs to go.
It'll be in our Discord announcements. We'll put it on the Fly Better Facebook page, our Facebook page. It's here in the Twitch chat right now at the bottom or in the description of this YouTube video. All the things. I think if I have time tomorrow, I'll make just like a quick video for it as well, going over the basically the same details, just in a shorter format for people who podcast isn't for them, which I understand. But you know what? I will say I am very excited to grow the team, to get more players involved, more people excited about the XCC. I think it's always been a great event, very competitive, cutthroat environment, and hopefully we got into the cut last year. I forget what place we got. We didn't do bad. Just not as good as the second or third place we got the 2021. Did we get? It was Singapore. No, that's right. It was Italy, Singapore, us. Is that right?
Yeah, it was. There was like a bunch of teams tied for second.
No, we were second. Yeah, that's right. In the tiebreaker, Italy beat us, but we beat Singapore.
No, not the other way. Italy took first.
We took
second. And in the tiebreaker, Singapore beat us by one game. Or by one match, not by one game. Because we all won the same number
Italy
of
beat
rounds.
Italy beat us by one game. Something
No,
like
Italy
that.
was the champion.
Italy was the champion.
Yeah, and then Singapore won the tiebreaker with us
I don't
by
know. This is
one.
old man arguing about the past. There's there's records of it. We could just look it up. But you know what? Let's move on. Let's let the past die and move on to the future, which is our next topic here. What I can only describe what I need to do. Let me press these buttons here. Get it pulled up because we have new announcements from AMG courtesy of their Twitter. Maybe I can find it here. Oh, it's because this is covering it. There we go. Take a look at that beautiful image they shared from their Twitter. The double-packed bombers that are soon to be released. Now, I will say, these things look beautiful. But I did notice in the picture the white striped ones. We are not getting that, the gray and white. These are both blue in there. The
Yeah,
standard.
more your traditional TIE bomber style, which seems fine, right? It's
I still
not
use the blue
normal
bomber
in-
for my Tomax. I don't use the white striped one.
striped ones, yeah. For people who may not know, the white striped one came from a pack in first edition where they released was it a red no, they didn't have a red defender. What did they do with the defender?
Yeah,
in
it
that
was the
one?
Royal Guard.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. It was red. Because Countess Riot, yeah. They released a red defender and a white striped, more gray based TIE bomber, and it was called the Imperial Aces pack at the time, which was the initial introduction to the X7 defender, aka Full Throttle.
Ooh, yeah, full throttle.
Change defenders forever.
Yeah, I believe it also gave us the TIE shuttle. No TIE shuttles in this one, though.
Nope,
Ooh.
no Doom canoes.
Ooh, let's get Doom Canoe. Where's my tactician rhymer? Come on,
God, yeah.
no, please no.
Snapshot tactician rhymer.
Yeah, please no.
Please.
Rebel captive.
Oh yeah, that too.
Anyways,
Would you like some stress? Would you like some more stress?
this is a bygone era. Instead, we got some new ships. We're going to talk about that major rhymer, Precision Destruction. These are standard loadout cards. They do say they have customizable cards, though I'm not 100% sure if the customized cards have these subtitles and abilities, or they'll have their regular ones. Unless you guys know, I guess we'll have to just wait and see. I think
As far as I think it has it has custom and standardized loadout plus upgrade cards.
But are these abilities customizable?
Don't think so. These are only standardized.
I think these are the abilities just for the standard.
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense to me because these are going to be some pretty crazy things. So let's start with this major rhymer here at the bottom. Precision Destruction. Same stat line, 226, Initiative 4. Has the same Nimble Bomber, where you can use the one bank template instead of the one forward. But this rhymer has a new ability. While you perform a torpedo attack, if the defender's in your bullseye, change one eyeball result to a crit result. Now, what torpedo is he taking? That's the Advanced Proton Torpedo. That's that 5 dice range 1 attack that has a hit to a crit already. So you line up the bullseye, you have lock modifier, you have an eyeball to crit, and you have a hit to crit. That is going to be a potent proton torpedo. Now,
very pretty.
So critty. Has 2 other abilities. This one I was surprised to see. Automated loaders. A single charge on this. After you perform a primary attack, you may spend 1 charge to perform a reload action. And I have to assume, because it doesn't say the reload action on your action bar, this would be a white reload.
Correct. but you only have one charge of this, so you have the chance to throw 2 advanced proton torpedoes a game with this major rhymer. Very, very cool to me.
Yes. Now, there is a lot you could do with that. In addition to these afterburners, they have 4 forward, 3 bank, 3 forward, hard 3. But that 4 forward boost barrel roll into linked locked to line up the bullseye. Woo! That Tomax is coming in hot. And all he has to
404 wishes he had all this stuff.
Ooh, 4-4 wishes he had afterburners for it. Yeah, that is going to be spicy. If you don't use the link, though, yeah, you just do the 3K, fire the primary, clear your stress, boom, fire off another
Here
torp.
we go again. Yep.
Okay, so did we talk? So I had to step away for a second. Did we talk
Just talking
Deathfire
about
already?
Reimer. Just
Reimer so far.
just Reimer.
Got it.
Reimer's going to be very scary. A very offensive piece coming in for those advanced proton torpedoes. Notably, no bombs, but they gave him the nimble bomber for fun. Just to keep him.
Yep. It's just there to keep it consistent with the other bombers at this point.
I guess. If they ever, maybe you're running a tournament where you could add upgrades to your standard loadouts, don't recommend it. But if maybe the situation, maybe you're just having some fun.
I mean, honestly, like you can think in the future, playing scenarios, objectives, missions, or even like a not like a tournament style, but like Battle of Yavin or like a kit where there's mines and bombs.
You're talking like yes, like a
Yeah,
Mario Kart,
like a Mario Kart
game.
style.
There is an official scenario that lets you pick up different devices and stuff like that. So
Interesting. Okay. Well, if you
so
happen
that
to,
yeah.
So yes, I mean, if something like that ever shows up, then he's covered.
I want to take that thinking, that future-proofing thinking, into the next pilot. Ryan, can you tell us about Deathfire?
Deathfire, probably the least thought about TIE bomber these days, because the original custom one couldn't take barrage rockets. So we have this new SL Deathfire, which is also missing barrage rockets, but has some crazy bombing tricks. This is a pure bombing TIE bomber. Has no missiles, no torpedoes. Still has the base nimble bomber ability. The ability of Deathfire itself.
Mute yourself on that one. Okay.
The obstinate bombardier is the name, or the little lore, I guess. Deathfire. After you fully execute a speed 3 to 5 maneuver, if you have not dropped or launched a device this round, you may spend 2 charges, in which you have 2 of, and 1 reoccurs per round. So it's every other round. You may to drop or launch a bomb using the 3 straight template. So we got bomb dropping at I2, which is pretty low, after movement, which only Genius in Scum could do that so far, or at least that I can recall. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Nope, Genius is what you're thinking of. Yep.
Yep. No, I just didn't know if there was another one I couldn't think of.
Oh, Vagabond.
Oh, well,
no,
true,
but that's not a that's after
I'm
repositioning.
just out of system phase, right? That's
Okay,
fine.
It's out of system phase.
Yeah. And I guess out of a movement, right? You weren't there before. So what kind of bombs does Deathfire have? We have Connernet, which is actually a mine. So you cannot, repeat, you cannot use Deathfire's ability for Connernet. Connernet is a mine, not a bomb. And then it has with 1 charge Connernet, just to clarify, because we have seen some charges be different from upgrade cards in the past, like R2D2. Then we have Proton Bomb, 2 charges. So this is your standard Proton Bomb. Crits are really good, knocking off boxes. And then it has a talent called Swift Approach. During the system phase, after you drop or launch a device, you may perform a white barrel or boost action even while stressed. So if you don't plan on launching something with or dropping something after Deathfire's move, if you want to still drop um in your base system phase, you can get a free barrel roll or boost in the system phase, which is really cool. It makes it kind of Bomber-esque, the FO bomber, but you just have to drop something before you do those repositions. But you get barrel roll as well. So um could be a really tricky
I assume you could
could
link that
definitely
barrel
be a
roll?
ship that you could like I'm gonna fly forward and launch a bomb and then you're in front of 4 arcs and die. So
Yeah. Yes, you could link that barrel.
barrel link target lock, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Barrel link target lock in the system phase.
Drop
Do
a
blue
Connor,
move.
Yeah.
barrel link target lock, go forward and focus.
Sure.
Okay. No
Now-
munitions, but still pretty good.
Yeah, the other thing that's nice about this whole thing is, the launch or drop a proton bomb. Definitely, most situations you don't want to drop a proton bomb because then you'll be hitting yourself. Even if you barrel roll out of it, they don't have a boost. However, you do have the angled drop on that proton bomb, which gives you the additional distance. If you angle it to the back left and then barrel roll to the top right, I don't know if that'll get you out, but it'll get you further out. That's something that I've never tested, but I'm curious to know if that
You won't
gives
hit
the
yourself
distance.
with a 3.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Because you can drop or launch. So if you move and then you drop it using the angled one direction, and then you barrel roll the opposite direction and forward. is
When you
that
drop it
distance.
after movement with Deathfire, it's with a 3 straight template.
Oh, so you can only drop 3. Okay, so you're
Well,
not
3
dropping.
or
You're not using
3 bank.
Yeah.
You could do a 3 bank
specifically
as well.
with the
Yes.
rear, yes, because Nibble Bomber
Yeah.
says if you would drop a
Ah,
device using
yeah.
a straight template, doesn't say what speed, using a straight template, you may use the bank template of the same speed. So
Okay, got
after
it.
Deathfire moves 3 to 5, you may launch 1 3 forward or drop it 3 straight or 3 bank.
Got you. Okay, now.
You can't
So
launch
you're
it
not
3
dropping
bank.
it one bank to the back. So
No.
you're dropping it 3
Yeah, you
bank.
can't.
3 straight template.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So,
actually pretty
I want
pretty
to touch on something though, Marcel.
nifty.
We didn't talk about it in our Discord, so I'm springing this on you. But
Okay.
the launching of it, okay. My knee jerk reaction, although I think a lot of people had. Don't shake your head. Yeah, I haven't finished yet. The the knee jerk reaction of why does this card say launch? I thought we got rid of Trajectory Simulator to the ban list. Now, original Deathfire also has a similarly worded ability. Upon destruction, you may drop or launch a device. Is this correct? I believe so. But when he is destroyed in his customizable form, he cannot launch the bomb. I thought we had this discussion with Marcel. You were trying to launch proxies on people.
I wasn't trying. I did.
You did.
He
I
did.
think I believe
tried
we
not, my
collectively.
friend.
Well, you succeeded.
Yes, I did it successfully.
But I believe we ruled that you cannot launch a bomb because this.
Not only that, I launched a mine. So
Yeah, that's
Even worse.
not. Well, the customizable does say device, so I believe you might be allowed. You definitely drop mines with the customizable version. So I have to. We'll have to get the rules lawyers out. But
Yep.
if I am understanding this correctly, his ability doesn't say instead of dropping it, you may launch it. It only says you may launch or drop a bomb.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not like you could say, but they put it on the card. Wouldn't they mean it? Like, well, then why they put the Nibble Bomber on Major Rhymer? Right? All the text of Nibble Bomber on Major Rhymer. So, yeah, we should probably double check some rules clarifications on that. And yeah, it's close enough to Deathfire Custom that, like, it says drop or launch, but unless it can natively
Doesn't
launch,
say,
it can't
yeah.
launch. It's not instead of.
Right. That kind of that same kind of future proofing of like, well, what if the scenario you could pick up a Discord bomb or whatever. I don't know what you're playing in your fun Mario Kart games, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure that this is an AMG created one, right?
Correct.
Like this is all AMG.
Yes.
Yeah. So I highly doubt that they did this they wrote this card after already declaring, because if you remember, like Trajectory Simulator got banned directly after the
After
Adepticon that
Decepticon, yeah.
that I
After
took it
you
to the
brought
final.
2 bomb
Yeah.
launchers to the final.
That was fun. That's why I kind of
Now,
like
granted, that faction had Sabine Crew, which was a whole other
Yeah.
addition
which was
to the
other
power
which,
of those
which was
bombs.
other fun stuff, yeah.
Bunch
But
of
what
other
I'm
stuff.
saying is, like they banned it early, and then they created this card. So I think they know what they're doing in
Well,
terms of. I think
like
that's the
I'm-
intention.
I'm not a
but
rules
yeah.
layer, but it doesn't say instead. So to me, I feel like we can't. Though I will say, you start imagining what a hard 3 and then a 3 bank looks like.
Forget that. Don't they have a 5K?
Well, again, 5K. Yeah, the 3 bank it out behind you.
Yeah, just 5K. Throw one back
Yeah.
in any of those 3 spots, and then
Drop
3
a counter,
forward,
boost,
and then
peace
and then
out.
3
Yeah.
forward, and drop another one 3 more back. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
is that going to
regen-
be the play for this guy? Just starts as far forward as possible.
If Coffee
5K.
Minions, Coffee Minion in our chat started round 1 of our tournament by not round 1, but we were playing in round 1 by just 5K'ing all of his bombers to drop a bunch of bombs on my Vader, who did not see that coming. He was ready. He was ready to defend against barrage rockets. So
Not
but
bombs.
That's
not
so bad,
bombs.
because if you
So-
start off with a 5K and then 3
yeah,
bomb launch,
that can
then
hit you
you're
round
com-
1. You could 5K
yeah, that
turn
can hit you
1.
round 1, and then you're rolling back 3 forward, launch
Yeah.
another one, three more back, and just use your action to reload, and just that's the next thing. You still got bombs,
Hey.
and
He
nobody's
came to
chasing
drop
you.
bombs, not shoot that primary,
Yeah.
right? So
that sounds like a
I
song.
I did think for a second when they printed this card, I was like, why did they say 3 to 5? They only have a 4 forward. The 5K. It's going to be very spicy for that. So not quite the trajectory, but still 5K 3 bank bomb drop is might as well be trajectory.
Depending on the final ruling we get on this Deathfire, if he can't launch the 3 straight after moving, I think that does probably, not severely, but it definitely decreases its
can go back down
desire
to
to be
3.
played or effectiveness. I still think even if he can launch forward, I don't mind him being 3 points either way. If that
He's not bringing any kind of munition. He's not bringing any kind of more than 2 die attack. And if he's wanting to do his trick, he's reloading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like if this is a ship
I think it's
that
cool.
It's very
I
cool.
would.
Oh, Marcel, I think in your example, you can't do it every round. You can only do it every other round. 2
What?
charges
Why?
recurring.
Deathfire's
Yeah,
ability to do that
yeah.
is
Oh, yeah,
2
yeah.
charges
Gotcha.
every other turn.
Got it. No, wait. Yeah, you could. You're just not doing it at speed 3.
Yeah, you could just move.
You could do it and then
reload, drop. every turn.
Reload, drop a regular one, and just whoever wants to chase you, just chase me at your own risk.
Well, they're not going to. I mean, if they hit that counter net, they're going to be in a world of trouble for that second proton bomb.
Imagine you hitting the counter net first and then just,
Yeah, so
there's a lot of
5K
situations where if you're
bomb,
already hitting him with a counter
counter.
net, you're probably going to hit him with the next round's regular bomb
Yeah.
anyway and not need to do the speed thing. But
I mean, think about the possibilities. You can drop a bomb one turn, and then the next turn, or drop a counter net one turn. Next turn, 5K, and then launch it 3 forward. I mean,
Oh wait, you know what? We forgot about the boost. That's right. Drop a proton bomb, boost 5K.
No, you can't. You can't. because it says
Oh, because you can't drop 2 bombs.
you can't
that's
drop
right.
2 bombs in the same or 2 devices in the same.
No, it's
Shucks.
it's in the same phase.
If you have not
What?
dropped or launched a device this round, is his ability.
This
Oh,
round.
it says it.
Okay. Yeah,
This
round.
Yeah,
yeah. So
Deathfire's
now-
ability. No. Specifically, Deathfire's ability says if you have not
Oh,
dropped
okay,
or launched
gotcha.
a device
I did
this
miss that.
round.
This round.
Classic
yes.
X-wing reading. Read
X-wing
everything,
reading.
all the good stuff.
Yep, I'm
Ignore
doing
all
the
the
right
bad
reading.
stuff.
Don't just because it's in commas doesn't mean you could just skip past it.
That's exactly what it means. Commas are
Let's see.
suggestions.
Trigger, blah blah blah, penalties. Here we go. The good ability now. Classic X-wing reading. All right. Yeah. So we'll find out. Probably before this gets out. I'm sure the rules lawyers will, or the AMG forums, are probably answering this question as we speak, because it's certainly on my mind about whether. Why they keep saying launch on his card, things like that. Still very exciting. I do like both of these have very interesting ways outside of the barrage bombers that have been terrorizing everybody right now. So it'll be good to see some variations. We got some more variations of these pilots though. We got Tomax Bren. James, take us away.
Tomax still initiative 5, still coming in real strong there. Still coming in 2 attack, 2 agility, 6 hull, with 2 recurring charges that he can use on his ability, which reads: after you perform a roll action, you may spend 2 if you do gain a focus token. You're talking barrel roll, gain a focus token, link into a red lock.
Yes, sir.
What's he shooting? He's shooting plasma torpedoes. Oh my goodness, this guy's gonna hit like a truck. You do not want this guy shooting first. Plasma torpedoes has that obviously the ability to tick off a shield if it does hit. Also has True Grit, a brand new talent. I don't think we've seen this one before. At the end of the activation phase, if you are not strained, you may gain 1 strain token to remove 1 non-lock red or orange token. So you can okay, let me get this right. So do your whole shenanigan to do a roll, gain a focus into red lock, then True Grit at the end of the activation phase, he can get rid of his stress that he gained to get a strain instead.
Yep.
James,
Yup.
you're thinking small. You are thinking so small.
Yeah, but then he could do it. Well, he can't do it again next turn. But
No,
what
no,
am I
you're
thinking
thinking
small
small.
on? What am I thinking small
Well,
on?
what he's doing is he is moving, he is reloading after he's already acquired lock.
Orange?
Last turn, he is reloading, and he is taking strain to say, "I'm gonna
Orange!
get another torpedo and shoot my 3rd plasma torpedo at you." Oh, Merry Christmas! I am not weapons, whatever it is that's called, disabled anymore.
Man.
Yeah.
So,
Would you take a?
or I flew over an ion, or I flew over
Yeah.
a gas cloud. Now I am
Take that
actually,
one
no,
ion.
That one is not
right?
it. You cannot do that one because
Yeah.
you can.
End of activation. End of activation
end of
would be okay.
Yeah, so that you cannot do the gas cloud one because
Why
of
not?
that.
Yeah. You hit
No,
the
you
gas
can't
cloud. You roll
because the
crit.
gas cloud strains you, and it says if you are not strained.
Oh, good
Ooh.
catch.
But you
yes.
could do it
Good
over.
catch.
I'm getting rules lord by
Debris.
Marcel.
Well, but what you can
I
do,
know.
but what you can do,
We
is
skipped
you
over the
could-
comma part.
I skipped over the comma.
Yeah, but what you can do is fly over a debris, get the
Yeah.
stress, and then convert the stress into a strain.
Absolutely.
At the end
And
of
take
it.
an
I mean,
action.
So there's
No,
a
not
bunch
taking
of
action.
stuff you can do.
But K-turn.
Not taking action.
Or
at
you
the
could
end of
get-
that.
Obvious one is going to be the barrel roll focus.
Yeah,
target
sure.
lock,
Barrel roll,
no
focus
stress.
lock, or the reload if you
I
are
mean,
good enough to get
I
off.
played
That
against-
whole
Plasma.
combination just sounds like the kickback that you could do,
Oh,
where
yeah.
you just like, I'm gonna barrel roll, and then I'm gonna target lock, but the target lock's not gonna be red; it's gonna be strain, and because I barrel rolled, I'm gonna link it to a red evade. So I have lock, evade, strain, stress.
Yep,
Like that sort of combination of stuff.
exactly.
I played against some ensnare Nantex and trading out one tractor token for one strain token seems like a good deal as well. Especially against those Nantex who are about to
What?
fire.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
that's
is
well,
ensnares.
actually,
timing.
it's at end of activation. That
It's
player
the
order
same
matters a
timing.
whole bunch.
Oh, yeah, it would be player
order.
order.
Oh.
but
So you can
Ooh.
turn that.
Yeah,
So
Sunfrack
end of
ensnares
activation
you.
is ensnare. So
Mhm.
you better hope your second player that turn.
Yeah, that could be pretty good because not only are you gonna lose the strain, none of their abilities work then.
Yep.
Oh, no, look at
Also,
all
we
the
have.
Nantex everywhere. Oh,
I
where
mean,
already?
I mean, they're more around more than they were a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
Around
true.
more than they used to be last points, which was 0 to 1.
0.
Now there's
I
1 to
played
2.
two. I
So
played two ensnared Nantex in the same list.
Yeah.
But.
Did you shoot him?
I got so lucky. I killed 3 ships in the last round the first time I faced it to win. Super lucky. And the second time I had more aggressive tactics, we'll say. And the ensnares didn't quite hit like they were expecting to.
Yeah.
And snares don't really do a whole lot when you have something like Han with Biston flying around.
Well, that's true.
Look, all Sunfag wants to do is not be in your arc and give the tractor to not himself. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if someone's
I needed-
technically tractored on the other end.
I needed like one refresher game, and then was able to formulate a plan against him.
You shoot him.
Yeah, you shoot them. They don't like that.
No,
now
they
it's
don't.
crits. Now with their
oh yeah, well,
No,
all
the
your
no
crit
Crits are
shit.
generation.
terrible for
Yeah.
Nantex.
all the crits. All right, well,
Anyway,
you said ion bomb on there as well. Another thing you could be reloading and
Another
trying to
thing
shoot
could
at the
be
same
reloaded.
time. All right, but let's go on to.
That is exciting. It's an exciting pilot.
That's hot. I'm gonna be honest with you. Double modified plasmas.
Where are we pricing that one on a first guess,
I
first
mean,
pass?
could be
maybe
3.
No, 3
I-
for
Tell
triple
me how
action.
that's
I'm
any
saying-
better. Tell
I'm
me how
saying
that's
all-
any like that is equivalent to me to Sat Salvo
Equivalent?
Barrage
Okay.
from Tomex right now.
Well,
None of these
I think
that
we
we
can
talked
agree
about
that-
is more than 3. Even
I
the Bombi launcher thing is a 3.
I think we can all agree that customizable Tomax should probably not be 3 at his current loadout.
yeah.
No. He's allowed to be 3. Let's let this play out, right? This is
We'll
early.
see. They're not.
Let's see.
I mean, my
No
Tomex is
knee-jerk
tearing it up.
changes.
Nick Sperry
I-
is
I
Tomex
would
is
love-
tearing
yeah.
it up.
That Trace and Salvo is
Look,
I'll
mean,
say my
we-
Tomex
we're-
maybe shoots 2 barrages
Yeah.
a game.
Let me
though.
say,
but
I
against
that
pro-
Trace
I
and Salvo is
probably
a
think-
bit of an issue at 2 points. It's
So-
not a bit. It's an issue at 2 points. When you have Zuckus being 6, making you reroll 1, saturation allowing you to reroll 2 at 2 points versus 6
Wow.
points. That's a problem.
We
So,
can talk
I-
about it more. Ryan, give me your last thoughts, Ryan. But we
Yeah.
gotta keep moving on.
Sure. I think they don't completely. They may not completely fall in line with. You don't get everything. You know how a lot of loadouts changed, and you generally went down across the board in the game. You can't fit everything. If Tomex currently had to make the choice between Sat Salvo and a bomb, I think we'd be at least a little better off there.
So you're saying if
Could-
he lost a
could
bomb
still-
slot and couldn't take bomb,
Not even a slot. Just like Sat
Well, if-
Salvo maybe became 4, and you can't take Bomblet
Mm.
and Sat Salvo. You can still take Sat Salvo and Barrage, but no more bombs.
Set Salvo 6. If Zuckus is 6, Set Salvo
Oh my
6.
god, no.
Yeah. Hey, it's coming out of the binder for 1 season. Let it have 1 season at least,
Easy.
It is having 1 season.
and it'll go away.
All the
maybe.
way to
We'll see.
Worlds.
We'll see. I want to talk about someone who doesn't have saturation salvo, Captain Jonas. Marcel, tell us about top cover.
All right. Well, he kind of does right now, but he won't in this one. So Captain Jonas, still initiative 4, top cover. The standard 2 attack, 2 agility, 6 hull. then the ability reads: after you drop or launch a device, you gain an evade token. Um, okay, I mean, makes him a little tankier. I guess that's nice. An evade token, free evade. He's a defender now. I guess. I mean, he's fine. At least for 2 turns, or he's reloading.
That's like a shield upgrade. Think about that.
Yeah. Well, that's
It
hull
also
upgrade.
lets you keep your
Hull
focus
upgrade.
for barrage rocket more often.
Huh?
So you have an evade token to
Oh,
now
yeah,
spend defensively and keep your focus for barrage
Yep.
rockets.
And as Ryan mentioned, for the listeners, barrage rocket is the ordnance on, as well as proton bombs. So he's got proton bombs, barrage rockets, and then top cover. I don't think top cover's been in any of the other ones. It reads: after a friendly ship at range 0-1 defends. Are you guys hearing my cat? That cat is.
We
so
can
annoying.
hear your cat. It's going
Okay.
meow.
Meow. He wants to go outside. But my neighbor has like a little miniature dog, and he wants to go and play with it. After a friendly ship at range 0-1 defense, if you have not dropped or launched a device this round, you may launch a device. Yeah, a device using the basically 3 forward, 3 bank templates. You ignore the effects of friendly devices. Period. You ignore the effects of friendly
Yeah,
devices.
that is a separate sentence.
So no
separate
commas
paragraph.
here. So again, after a friendly ship at range 0-1 defense, if you have not dropped or launched the device, so which means it's not gonna, basically he's only got proton bomb. So he's gonna launch the proton bomb at during the engagement phase.
Yeah, unless someone's
so it'll-
snapshotting you or something weird like
yeah,
that.
yeah. You're right. If you get snapshotted or
Just
the
foresight.
bullseye one, yeah. But you're launching it, and it'll stay there for another round, and then next round you can, do whatever you do. But another thing is when you launch it, you get an evade token. So if you got 3 ships shooting at you, it is a way to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna get an evade token because I'm gonna die." So I'm gonna I have an evade token, maybe, or I don't have an evade. I just got my focus. I'm gonna accept this hit. I know there's another shot coming at me, but I'm gonna accept this hit, launch a device, get an evade token because of his ability, and then keep the focus for attack. And he's if he gets shot again, he's gonna evade.
I do want to emphasize that 0-1. That is most certainly him. If he gets shot at,
Yeah,
he's launching it.
Yeah, again, if you're getting shot multiple times and you just worried about dying and you want to get that evade, even if you don't think that bomb's gonna hit anything, just go ahead and launch it. Get yourself a free evade. It's like a free evade between shots. And another
The
thing
bomb's
is,
not hitting anything that turn.
yeah,
And
at that turn,
that's what's
and
pretty
it's
key about this Jonas is he ignores the effects of all friendly bombs.
Yeah.
So what that means is when you do launch that 3 straight or 3 bank, there's very few turns, if at any, that lets you avoid that bomb anyway. You just can truck through it.
You're always avoiding it. Now here's another scenario. You start off 4 forward. You line up all the way to the front. You start off 4 forward. It is very customary nowadays, and you focus. So your barrage rocket is still, pretty good. It's pretty common for people to like go fast now. If anybody goes fast, or even in round 2, if anybody goes fast and there's an objective you want, they shoot at you. You put a bomb there. During the engagement phase. So next round, everybody knows it's there. They're all gonna clear way, and you're gonna ignore that bomb. So you're just gonna go park on that objective and claim it and not worry about it and just shoot
This is
barrage
my
rockets.
box. I'm
Yeah.
taking this box.
Particularly, with proton bombs.
Yeah, I was gonna say these
launching
aren't
this
just like
at
bombs;
crates.
these are proton bombs.
Ooh. Yeah, knocking off crates, doing crit damage.
Yeah, like this is really good for object. This one and Deathfire are really good objective.
I do want to
players.
highlight a quick possible combination you could use with this. Not something that we see too often, but throwing that bomb downfield could line up some really good feedback pings for the next turn. Now, we usually don't see feedback ping, especially in Empire, but that could line up some nice bomber runs
It's true.
to get those lock actions.
Tomax, customizable Tomax and Reimer can take those feedback pings.
Oh, that is nice. So you throw the feedback ping out there. I mean, you throw this during the engagement phase. It stays during the whole activation phase.
Yeah, if anybody just moves towards it,
Yeah,
you get
they
that
just
feedback ping.
land at 0 to 1 of that bomb.
To be fair, Deathfire can do the same thing. But yeah, really
Sure.
good.
Well, Tomax has 2 talent slots currently. It's custom. You'd just be giving up your bomb to do it.
You'd be
Choices.
giving out your saturation salvo because feedback ping is 1.
You have 2 talent slots, so you would
Uh-huh.
just lose your bomb.
What do you mean?
He's saying to make the loadout work on customizable
You can
Tomax.
take sat salvo and feedback ping. You just don't get a bomb.
Oh, I get it. That's what I'm saying. You can give up either the saturation salvo or the bomb because you can give up
Yes.
saturation salvo, keep the feedback ping, and then some other ruthless or whatever.
You could give up the barrage rocket, take a lock-based
No.
munition.
Okay, we're talking.
Yeah, if you're
Now we're talking
taking
crazy.
feedback
Real
pings,
stuff
come on.
here, like
yeah,
Now we're just talking.
in this way,
crazy.
you don't need to carry the random Jonas around with you that like actually forces you to be within range 0 to 1 to get rerolls.
true. That's true.
Just get a lock, feedback ping, easy. One
It's
thing to
still
note:
very interesting.
Fender mentioned this in chat. This
Mm-hmm.
is unless this was a typo. This bomber has a white reload. None of the other TIE bomber standard loadouts have a white reload. They're all red.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Jonas has a white reload.
There's no typos on standardized cards. It just is what it is.
yeah.
Except
That's why
for
he's
if
the
you're
captain.
unless you're World's promo, then your Luke cannot barrel roll Link into a focus.
Or unless you're a store champ promo, your Gaelic cannot boost. That's actually a barrel.
What? What? I'm looking at this right now.
You didn't know that?
I'm looking at it right now. I'll give you a second.
Lieutenant Gaelic's alt art from the top 4 of store championships has a boost instead of a barrel roll.
Didn't Dutch? Doesn't a standard Dutch card say Initiative 5?
Yeah,
Ryan,
but
Do you
what?
know about where I can send all of my what was his name? On Hombre Difficult. Difficil? My Spanish and Portuguese? German?
To Chris.
From Chris from where?
Chris Allen put a form on Fly Better a while ago that like to send the the other languages from kits,
I picked up.
so you can try and get them out to the rest of the world who didn't get kits.
I found 4 of them. I gotta get them to Chris. All right, let's take a look here. Now you're making me question it. Because I'm trying to think of. Oh my gosh!
Printed with a boost.
All right, well, we're playing Attack Wing now. Promos count, right?
I already
No.
asked on the AMG rules forum. They said it's barrel roll.
All right. Well, don't trust. Oh, he
That
doesn't
would
have
have
a
been
barrel
fun.
roll.
Come on.
He doesn't have a barrel roll. All right. Well, you
No,
can't
it got
trust.
It got completely replaced. It didn't
You
add
can't
a
trust the
boost.
promos, but these aren't promos. These are in the box. Just like I'm trying to think of Tyranny has a white target lock. So
Yep,
this is
they did keep
something.
that.
Yep, precedent shows that.
The only non-precedent we had was Dutch Vander in the Battle of Yavin pack. His card standardized has an I5,
Mhm.
but his base chit, they didn't provide an I5 base chit for Battle of Yavin for Dutch. So he is they go by superseded by the base chit to still be I4.
I think Lappin is like that too. So
Yeah, Lappin had the I2 versus
Hopefully.
I3, I think.
something like that. Hopefully,
And then the
fingers-
Kelrodo AI vultures were like I2 or I1, I think.
something like that. Well, we're hoping those are kind of like, we'll call them odd packs, odd releases. So I have full confidence in these Devil Bomber packs to be correct. So everything so far from these images looks good to me. I'm very excited. I did see on our Discord, someone was asking why uh, why new abilities for old pilots? Why not just make new pilots? What do you guys think about that?
Good question. Well, for starters, I don't know enough about the canon to know.
Tell me you don't know all the pilots in Scimitar Squadron and Gamma Squadron?
Uh,
Wow, you call yourself a Star Wars fan?
I don't actually. To be fair, I do not call myself a Star Wars fan. No, I like Star Wars, but I'm not I'm a Star Wars fan, not a stan. Um, but I think people, well, the outside of the like emotional side of like people flying stuff that they want to fly and got used to, I think the practical is so that you're not putting two of the same ship on there. So you don't want to put Initiative 5 bomber with amazing
Okay.
abilities with Initiative 5 bomber and amazing abilities to kind of have you pick and choose between two ships that are filling the same role. Because same thing, if they make Luke Skywalker standard into, like whatever Force user standard, now you're flying a list with Luke and evil Luke, or whatever you call him, generic
Okay.
Luke. So
Yeah, there's
I would say that's the
also-
most practical
Sure.
reason.
Bender mentioned in chat this too. It's probably you need more or clearance level, approval level to have using certain characters that haven't been used before, or making new characters.
Making new characters. That's true. It reminds me of
From LFL.
the old core, the Force Awakens Blue Ace and Omega Leader, where they didn't want to invent new characters, so they just called them call signs.
Yep. So
Um,
I would assume it makes their life a little bit easier to use existing names, but also it would probably reduce production costs by not having to produce more cardboard chits for more names
That's
that
true.
don't exist.
That's true. All these pilots are the same chit as their customizable version.
Mm-hmm. Not that they won't like in this pack, they'll still have the base chits for these because they don't currently exist outside of the conversion kit. But
And a starter pack.
there's still the the starter pack has two, sure. But either way, it's you don't have to make more prints of things that don't exist.
Yeah, like more like base prints. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe we can do this without printing a base that doesn't have a bullseye, as an example.
Sure.
or it doesn't have arc lights.
Those all make a lot of sense. I don't really have an answer myself. I was very curious on what that might be. Though, I mean, they're iconic to me as a longtime X-Wing player. Major Reimer got a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Jonas.
It could also be that they just want to make the squad builder people very angry to have to build out a third variation of these pilots. What are they going to call
That's true.
this third variation? Are they going to delineate between starter pack, customizable, and now random upgrade one?
I mean,
like random standard one?
It's whatever your title says. So, top cover and Scimitar veteran, I guess. I don't know. I'm excited for more bombers. I mean, granted, the typical loadouts for them have been, we'll say, uninspiring, but very effective. Though I do like how the bombers have came in a big way for X-Wing already. and this just gives more options, more tools to play with.
I do like Empire ships not having 3 agility. Big fan of that.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we got a little bit of time left, so let's see what else we have on the docket here,
Well,
Ryan.
I just wanted to
Probably
ask
only
you
one
guys
of the
just
other two things, if anything.
Sure,
before we
sure.
jump on something. I just for you guys, for you three, out of the 4 pilots, what's the one you're looking to more excited to play?
Oh, right. That afterburner is Reimer. That's going to be spicy. Just kamikaze in, start shooting advanced proton torpedoes.
Right?
Probably the Tomex. Seems pretty likely to still be 3 points, and it's I5, so I'm more likely to actually bring it in a squad. I don't know if I'm bringing any of these at 4. Maybe the Jonas, but that Reimer would be very fun if he's 3, because we already have a couple what I like to call funny APT pilots with Hull, Auckland, and 404 already. So there's no reason
Yeah.
Reimer couldn't
This
be
guy
an APT
feels
for 3
this
points.
guy feels like a super 404 holocand type pilot.
I'm liking Death Rain.
Yeah.
Again, just going trajectory simulator. Bring them back. And give me intimidation while you're at it.
If they rule it that way, sure. We have to find
Oh,
out.
either way, you do
Still
still
that
100% get
5K.
the 3 bank. The 3 bank, yeah. You still get the 3 bank out the rear.
Yeah, or the 5K into.
Yeah, the
The
5K
5K
3
3
bank
bank.
is.
Yeah.
They won't see it coming.
Until you see it the first time.
I mean, you can pair them together with the guy that ignores it. What was it, Tomax or Jonas?
Sure.
Yeah, the one that ignores it. Do 5K, put a bomb somewhere, and then Jonas is not getting shot first round. And Jonas flies into it because he ignores all your devices, not just his own.
True. Exciting stuff. All right. Well, let's move on to some more recent news. The Lone Star Open World Qualifier is just around the corner. I believe it's next weekend, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, it's this weekend.
This weekend. Okay.
Why, it's in our notes.
Well, I figured. But that is an event in Texas who, just recently got their world qualifier to be official. We've had a couple events leading up already in this season, mostly store events. But what do you guys think is really going to maybe break the mold, if you will? Or do you think we'll see more traditional list variations?
You mean like in the cut or?
Let's say the final table.
Okay, because I think what you've seen, mostly with like certain Han Rebel lists, certain Empire lists, some First Order lists, and Galactic Republic. Like all those lists tend to have a archetype that works.
Sure.
But I have seen, at least from the store championships, I've seen I talked about last week, I think, the one with the 2 scimitars, and there's other stuff that, there's the 2 fire sprays, Django, Zam, and Dirge. So I think that one probably out of the that's a possibility of a list that not everyone's flying that has a potential to do well is Zam, Django, Dirge, potentially.
Okay. Interesting. Ryan, what do you think?
I mean, if people just go by the trend of what's actually been successful for the store champ, because we only have had one world qualifier. That was the UK Games Expo.
Hmm.
And that was like literally the start of
Right.
our new meta, where they barely got the new points just in time to work for that event. So that was very 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 early, and in some ways set the tone for at least where people might want to start looking. But with all these store champs happening, you got to imagine one of the top factions at least is Rebel, and a majority of those Rebels have Han and or Luke. Um, Custom Han with Bistan, and then Luke with Yavin Luke specifically. You got to assume there's going to be Vaders. Empire is always popular, and Vaders in almost every Empire list. I would assume that after those two, it seems like there's a I don't want to say a pocket, but there's a popularity in First Order. Even though they don't have a 2 cost, a 6 cost, or an 8 cost ship, and they only have 3, 4, 5, and 7. Only one of them being 7. They're still providing a lot of different looks at type of lists that they create, and a lot of people are enjoying and having success with variations of FO. And then Resistance has been doing well in a couple of forms, whether it's Ray Poe um, plus a 4-pointer in BB-8, or 5 T-70s, or Poe Falcon and Friends. And you always have Republic, who has a lot of force, or a lot of green tokens that use Born for this.
Born for this, yeah.
And bring a version of Anakin, which you have, I think, 2 popular ones at this point, which are the SOC Ada at 4 points, or your traditional 7B Anakin at 7. Plenty of arcs, a lot of 6 ship squads you can build in Republic that seem very reasonable. I think if I were to guess, your most likely stuff you'd see in a day, it'd be Rebel, Empire, then probably at kind of at the top 2, and then after that, probably a tie between First Order, Resistance, Republic. Scum and Separatists you're going to see the least of. That's just not because of how bad they actually are, but they haven't had as much of success, but also haven't shown up a lot. So it's going to be kind of a common. Well, Separatist has had some success, more so than Scum, but both are very low in popularity right now. So if you're planning on going to LSO, better have at least a plan for Han, have a plan for Vader and friends, have a general idea of what you want to do against Anakin or Poe and Kylo in some capacity. After that, unlikely to face really any Separatist or Scum, just based upon the amount of numbers and how many Swiss rounds you're actually going to play in.
True. Yeah, as has always been, the Separatists are the fewest but the most dedicated, I feel. Once you're in that rabbit hole, you really can't leave. Though I feel like
I left.
I know.
I played for a little bit. I think there's definitely a good list there. I just don't want to have to. It still feels like a little bit of an uphill battle that I don't want to have to try and climb every game during a long-standing event.
Yeah, the ones I've seen are what I feel like are more like, they feel like Scum light to me, whereas like Resistance feels like Rebel light. Separatist has been feeling like Scum light between Dirge, Fire Sprays, Grievous feels kind of like Scum ship to me, and even the Nantex, right? Gotta admit, handing people tractor tokens is a very scummy ability.
Oh, so, we always said Separatist has definitely Scum adjacent things you can come up with. Like, I've had multiple people ask me before, like, hey, you know, if I was going to a store champ or an event and I considered playing Separatist, what should I bring? My first question to them back would be, well, how many games have you actually played with Separatists recently? And if they go none, I would say don't do that.
Don't do that. No.
Separatists needs time to understand what you need to do with the list, no matter what variation you're bringing. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
not an easy factor,
They
but
have
you can get
powerful
wins.
pieces,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
the
They're not
Nantex are
obvious.
difficult to fly well.
Mm-hmm. Especially with barrage bombers around, you cannot land in a barrage bomber arc with Nantex. Goodbye.
Maybe you don't do that. Yeah, your single focus token and 2 agility is gonna look real sad all of a sudden.
Nope. You can't, like, it's hard to close. You have to almost close distance with an Nantex with a 5 straight into them. Like, just straight up look at them and then range control yourself and then just zoom.
Yeah. 5 points on fact. If it only could have afterburners and ensnare. Oof. The ease of use would go way up.
Yes.
But probably for the best. It's left out of that. How about you, James? You got a bold prediction, something you're hoping to see in the Top Cut finals? Something do well?
I would be hoping to see some non-Anakin Republic, because I think
A Naboo, perhaps.
or yeah, Naboo's would be good, but just like not spammy clone or not leaning on 7B Anakin. Besides that, I think there's still a lot of room for list archetypes to be, well, maybe not archetypes, but list structures to be built out for different factions. It's got to be up to the players to find that secret sauce that may be helpful in that particular event. So if you're planning to see lots of TIE bombers with the barrage rockets, bring something that can either out joust them or out dodge them, because you really gotta you really
have
gotta
some jam tech.
or have some jam. I was gonna say have some jam tech, but
Reasonable jam tech, I would say.
No, my suggestion's always been put a mag pulse in your list. You hit that Jonas with the mag pulse, he's not going to be happy to go from 3 dice double modded to 1 dice.
He's not gonna like that. So yeah, just think about what is big in like your local area. As for the Lone Star Open, man, there's gonna be so many people coming down to that because it's one of the very few events in the South. So I think besides that and the Las Vegas Open, I can't really think of any other huge events off the top of my mind. I definitely could be missing something, but there's probably going to pull in a lot of players. So from a lot of different local metas.
Sure. I was able to make it down there, I think last year, if not the year before. I had a great time, scorching hot in the middle. I was not ready for Texas heat, but I had a great time. So I'm glad to hear that it's getting the recognition that it deserves. Getting that world qualifier.
Getting that worlds, yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if they should be holding it in the middle of summer, in the middle of the hottest part of the year.
They're resilient. They're I'm sure it's nothing to them.
There's resilient and unreasonable.
It definitely toes, if not pushes, the envelope of that line.
I understand there's the such thing as air conditioning, but Texas has had some power grid moments in the past. It's not like it happens all the time, but it happens enough for me to not want to go down there in extreme heat situations or cold situations, just in case.
Yeah, you want to go into those 2 weeks a year where it's really nice weather.
Actually, we should have. What's the weather forecast for this weekend? Isn't it like Dallas-ish for Lone Star?
Fort Worth,
I believe.
Yeah.
Fort Worth, yeah.
It's like
That's where I'm from.
It's like the same thing.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You can't tell by his big Texas.
Yeah, my big Texas draw.
All right. So, your weather in Fort Worth, the likely forecast for Thursday through Sunday, assuming some people might fly down. I actually don't know if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing or just Saturday, Sunday thing. So, assuming at least Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday's high is 103. Saturday's 96. And Sunday's 98. So stay inside.
Stay indoors.
I'm sure that's nothing to them. I would be melting like a candle.
Yeah, Texas is just built different. Like the roads are built different. Like if it reaches that that temperature in like some northern states, like their roads will literally melt. Like the roads just aren't built for it. So yeah, just built different. 103. That's hotter than my hot tub. It is hotter than your hot tub. It's it's probably hotter than you should be sitting in. Yeah.
I would had to brace myself for that kind of heat. All right, but
if you are generally a thickly bearded individual, it is recommended you trim it down a bit before going into that hot weather. Or lots of hair on the top of your head. Also, maybe worth a haircut.
Good thinking. Yeah, we'll be
bring your deodorant.
Yes.
Bring a large water bottle. Stay hydrated, please.
Stay hydrated. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be excited. Hopefully, we can get the list and results for that. Give us something to talk about next week. Break that down. Any world qualifier, I mean, that's a big deal. People are going to be bringing their A game to it. So very excited about that in the future. But I guess we're going to move on to closing thoughts. Any last anything we missed today? Any store championships you went to, Marcel?
Yeah. Did Thank you.
You don't have to talk about it. That was more of a joke.
Well, no, I mean you brought it up, so I do. Got to pour salt in the wound. Yeah, so I went to one yesterday, which by the way was another great event. That's the theme outside of.
So jealous of Chicago getting all these events.
Yeah, so outside of like not winning an event yet and not getting an invite, all of them have been great. Yesterday, Nick Sperry, local 312 Nick Sperry was won it. Congratulations. I did play Nick. We ended up with a draw, but Road Rule decided it was his invite. So he still went on it, won the rest of the rounds, needed to win it. But yeah, so good times. And pizza. Pizza is always good. So we talked about last week about what to do during the breaks. The TO said, hey, pitching in for pizza. We're going to order pizza. Whoever wants pizza, pitch in. So there was pizza delivered for those who contributed.
That's smart. I mean, organize your meals.
Pizza's never a bad idea.
I'm kicking your butt for asking that question.
How about you, Ryan? Any events this weekend?
Yeah.
Or last weekend?
Last weekend, no. But yeah, I'm going to be going to the Forest City Open in London, Ontario, which is about 2 hours away from me in Canada. It'll be the first Canadian event I go to. So excited to see some of those guys up there, part of the Ewok Squadron, those traveling into the Ewok Squadron area. They definitely have a ton of extra prize support. It's going to be popping. They had it planned to have, because they're using some of the college university space, like one of the larger rooms available to them. And they had available to go up to like almost qualifier size in terms of the amount of people they could have. So it's going to be definitely a larger store champ. They're actually put 2 kits together and putting up 2 invites. So excited to go. It's actually set up as a 2-day event where Swiss is Saturday and cuts the next day. So a little bit of a light world qualifier prep for me in terms of like the 2-day feel.
Yeah, that stamina.
Yeah, get that back because I haven't done anything like that since Worlds, which there was still a lot though. Being a last chance qualifier person into a day 1 Worlds person into a day 2 Worlds person. So that was a whole heck of a lot of X-Wing for me. I need
Yeah,
to
London
shake off
is
the rust from
a
that.
London is a great area. I was up there um, 6 years, 5 years ago for a um, uh, air show, and it was a great area. Locals were very, very nice, and it was very fun.
I look forward to seeing them. They will have so. My wife is graciously making cookies because I'm traveling for an X-Wing event,
No,
and
really.
so the Canadian people will
Are
be
they?
able
Huh?
to try out the Mrs. Staniszewski
The
You can
cookies.
bring
the
those
famous
across the
cookies.
border.
Yeah,
Guys-
all I have to
Whoa,
do is
yeah.
all,
What
no,
the?
no, hold on. I look, trust me. All I have to do is tell them I just need to be upfront. Be like, the food I am bringing in this car is these cookies. They're just regular chocolate chip. Would you
You
like
better bring
one?
a couple. You better bring a couple extra to bribe
Yes.
the
I was gonna say,
guards.
would you like one?
Bribes.
No, as long as it's declared, there should be. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Bender's saying trade poutine and strong beer for cookies. I have never tried poutine yet. So if anyone listening who's going to the Forest City Open that can help hook me up with a legit poutine place, which from what I've heard from the people I've talked to so far, it's the most legit in Montreal, which is way too far away for me to drive to. Toronto's probably the maximum distance east I would go in Canada, but yeah, just hook me up with at least something you would recommend to someone who hasn't been to Canada for poutine. I want to try it.
I mean, it sounds delicious. What's not to like in the poutines?
And Will, you didn't do any events this weekend, did you?
I did. I had a grueling 2-day event out in West Des Moines, Iowa. Had Mayhem Comics. Planned to have 2-day top 16. Fortunately, that didn't work out. So we just did top 8 instead. So I still got 8 games. I was able to make my way. I did lose a game in the Swiss, but still got into the top 8 cup. So no problem. Making the trip valuable to me. Getting those extra games in. But yeah, had a great Sunday. I was still putting crits. Oh man, just Vader. Vader just like oh, hit eyeball blank. I guess that's just 2 hits and a crit now. Don't worry about it, man. Vader just, even his range ones, there was a couple times where I had to like K-turn. Man, he's just printing hit crit every time he attacks. It's impressive.
Yeah, Vader's range 1, even without a lock, is still pretty dangerous. It's still a 3 dice with
there was
devil mods. So
there was an awkward point where me and Major Reimer K-turned. Okay, we shot each other, then we K-turned. I afterburners in, so we'd shoot at each other again. But he got ionized from a crit or something like that. And so then it was a little bit awkward that I had to just 1 forward and keep my stress so I could shoot at him again while he was ionized. Which is a little awkward that I couldn't clear it and take a lock. But yeah, I mean, range 1s still worked. So I was flying Merrick Brockets, Juno Brockets, Tomax with Brockets is what the new phrase. Brockets. It's going to catch on, I'm sure. And then Lone Wolf Lurir. Oh man, my MVP. Just out there, just dancing, holding down whole lanes, just waiting until the enemies give up and go after the X1s to just start punishing ships. Man. I thank you, Ryan, for turning me on to Lurir because it's just been a blast. It's Razor's Edge. I'm sure you get double mono defense, but turns out you have no friends. You got to do everything by yourself. So, but yeah, just the places he could be.
Find the weirdest spot you can put him and put him there, because your opponent will never understand how you got there.
So yeah, there
or
was
how you get out.
so there was a what do I want to say? There was a game where I've done like all the echolocations with Lavrier now after 10 or 15 games of it, and I understand it very well. But I was laughing at all my practice that all of these bear rolls and stuff, I end up being pretty much basically what you could just put on a dial. Like you don't need to bear roll and 2 bank. You could just hard 1, and you're at the same angle. But in one of my games, I got a damaged engine, which means I couldn't clear my stress on hard 2s anymore. So I was just doing all the crazy things with 2 banks. And then I hit a rock and exploded. So I was trying to get a little too crazy with my maneuvers. But for the most part, I had a blast. Met a bunch of people. Lambola was out there. Coffee Minion in our chat was out there. So I had a great time. Ended up winning it all in a rematch against those separatists, which, like I said, I learned a lot of lessons after our Swiss game, which I basically counted as a loss because like I shouldn't have won. It took, I forget what it was, but I killed 3 ships in the last round, and that shouldn't have happened.
So kind of revenge of the Swiss, just if the variance didn't happen in the first game, basically.
Yeah, more or less. I learned too who I need to be aggressive against and who I need to roll. I need to be aggressive against the Nantex, and not aggressive against Dirge and Grievous, because they're so tanky. It's hard to kill them right away.
Yeah, just point guns at the Nantex, they go poof.
So how many prockets did you leave in the tube?
Probably too many. I at least shot 1 a game, but I did shoot both of them at a Falcon. It was not a pretty sight for the Falcon. It survived, which is pretty impressive, actually, that I shot Vader, 2 prockets, and a brocket at it, and it flew away from that engagement, at least.
Clarify again. What is the brocket?
Brocket.
It's just barrage rockets.
Barrage rockets.
Oh. Okay.
He's trying real hard.
I think
to
we-
make
I
it-
think
No.
No
No,
brockets.
just barrage. Because it makes it sound like it's meant to be something that's just prockets with like from like fifth
Yeah,
bro, like brocket.
Yeah.
Bro.
Rockets. Yeah.
A bro rocket.
Bro
A
rocket. No. All right. Well, I tried. I tried. It's a thing. Coffee Mania said it's a thing. Yeah, I think it's catching on. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, James, what about you? Got a next swing event you got planned? Or you're just waiting until the next
not-
World Qualifier?
No, right now. I'm probably gonna go to that one in California. Which one is that? I can't remember the name of it.
Yes.
I think it's
Sacramento one. Is that right?
yeah, like Golden City, I think.
Golden State.
Golden State, yeah. So I think it's like Golden State Open.
The whole
something like
the whole
that.
state's golden. Come on now.
Golden State game. There you go. I had there. Yep, that's what I said in the first place. Golden State
There you
games.
go.
Thank you, Lionheart.
Awesome.
So I'll probably be trying to go to that one. I've already put it out in my calendar. We'll just see South San Francisco. There you go. So I'll
Sounds
try to make
awesome.
it to that one. But I actually have my first Shatterpoint event this weekend.
Ooh, taking Obi
Yeah.
and Omi Luminara.
Obi Lumi, yep. Obi Lumi clones. So
Sounds about right.
it's been pretty strong so far. But I'm excited to see all the new things. Grievous just came out. So
I'm not ready
I've
for
heard
that.
the B1 battle droids assembling that was just preparation for Grievous.
yeah, I have heard very bad things about building Grievous. So
He's the
I've
expert
heard
level
like
one, huh?
yeah. It's like I
He's
was
the
like
double
like,
diamond.
yeah, easy mode is like clones. Medium is like the Mandos. Hard is the B1s, and expert mode is definitely Grievous. Evidently, you have to build his legs and put them on the base, and then build and put the rest of the body on, because the legs socket into the base and they're configurable, which means you can glue them, and now you have to like force them onto the base. So yeah, it's a whole mess. So hobby talk. But yeah,
let me know when they sell pre-painted and pre-assembled.
Yeah.
And I am ready for it. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. I think we've talked long enough. I just want to thank everybody who was watching live with us here, watching on the YouTube. Throw a like, throw a subscribe. Check out the Discord. And again, reminder, putting the form in there as well for the Combine. More information on that to follow. Until next time, then, Gold Squadron out.
Thank you to ISO, Danko, Baffle, Trojan, Prophet, Shadow, Tycho, Spice, Raider, Lancer, Fallen, Row 6, 626, Chief, and J-List, our Grand Admiral patrons. And all of our Gold Squadron patrons and community members, thank you for your support. Gold Squadron out.